Okay, so we are here to talk about Claire and her progress through this semester. The first thing that I wanted to note is Claire is doing very well. She's keeping up with her classwork, she's making a lot of friends, and she has made a lot of progress throughout this year. The biggest progress that I've actually seen her make is in reading, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I did want to talk about first, I have been doing some extra assessments with her, and we do this during intervention time. And what intervention time is we pull kids out during their specials, so during math or computer, and I pulled her out a couple times and I just read a couple books with her that we've been reading in class. And for the most part, she's made a lot of improvement. So during the reading intervention time, I did take a couple running records, and what a running record is it's an assessment that measures accuracy, fluency, and comprehension, and kind of puts it all together. So it kind of looks like this. And down here is one of Claire's, the assessment that we see here, Claire is at her frustrational level, so we will talk about that in just a minute, but I want you to know that these interventions have really helped her in that area. Some things that Claire is really good at is she is a really great visual learner. So if you put images, videos, demonstrations in front of her, she picks it up very quickly. And she's even super kind to her peers, and she shows them how to do the things that maybe they're struggling with. So those peer relationships, she's a little shy, but she's definitely come a long way in that regard. Another thing is Claire is very good at spelling when she knows the words. So if she can read the word, if she can speak the word, for the most part, she's very good at spelling it. So you'll see that's another area that she's made a lot of improvement in. Her biggest area of strength, I would say, is science. She has fantastic scores in science. She's getting the concepts, and she's explaining them well. Right now we're learning about the sun and the moon, and she picked it up really quickly and is just passing with flying colors in that area. Now, I would say if you want to keep going with her intrigue with science, you could start reading more books with her at home about science. There are a lot of areas that we haven't covered yet that maybe she could get a head start on if she'd like to. I even have some books that I can recommend you if that's something that you'd like to do with her at home. But as far as what Claire is struggling with, she is struggling with reading. And it's not so much that she's struggling with getting through books that are on her level. So she came into this she came into this grade, and she was at a B level, which is about a kindergarten level. That is something that you should know. But she is now at a D. So in the past couple months, she has jumped 2 grades, 2 levels, which is great. It's fantastic. So when she's reading at a D level, she's doing very well. It's when we bring her up to that next level, the E, that she starts to fumble. So back to this running record. Basically what a running record does is it measures out of 100 words. At least this one does. So this one measures out of 100 words how much she got right. And you can see she got 89%. So out of those 100 words, 89 were correct. That does mean she missed or misread 11 words. And in order to be at an independent reading level, you need to be missing 5 or less. So there is work that needs to be done there, but again, that is kind of why we're doing that intervention time, where I've seen a lot of improvement. So another thing that she's struggling with is in phonics. We've been talking a lot about blends, and blends are two consonants that are put together. And Claire is really struggling to hear those blends. We've worked with her in the past 2 weeks in intervention time with the blends. We've had her read our phonics words to practice them, and she's still struggling a little bit in her spelling test there to hear the blends, specifically with L blends and R blends. So what that means is if a word, like the word blend, she doesn't hear the bl, she hears blend. And for example, in the word break, she may say break, but she's not spelling it. So that is a fundamental error where she's just not hearing it. So one thing that we have done is we've done a sight assessment with her with dots. And these dots will slide together if there's a blend. And so I worked with her on seeing the blends, and it wasn't until I showed her that there was a blend in her name that it began to click. So I wrote down the name Claire, and I had her find the blend in her name, and she found it right away. And so we practiced saying Claire, cool, and that helped her see the other ones. So as far as helping with that at home, I really just think pointing out words around the house or whenever you're going out that have blends in it and having her spell them, or at least sound those letters out so that she can hear that there are blends in the words all around her. As far as helping her improve in her reading, we're going to start having a take-home library where Claire's going to be bringing home books that are at an E level, so above her level, and what we'd like you to do is to read with her every day. She has a reading chart, and that she's been working on that independently, but with Clara, I think a couple days a week, I want you to be heavily involved in that reading, have her read to you, and actually reading the same books is another good thing that can help with that fluency and comprehension, where repetition is really good. She learns the words, she learns the story, and so reading one book many times is actually a really good thing to help with her comprehension. And the last thing is Claire is very bright, and she's getting it, but she does get stuck when she loses confidence. And we don't want her to lose confidence. We want her to see that she is capable. And so that's something that I can help her with as well. But helping her not shut down when she gets frustrated or when she's not getting it. And teaching her to work through it and to try her best and ask for help, because I'm here to help her. And lastly, I just wanted to show you a few of her pieces of work that she's done. This one it was a writing assessment on writing sentences, and this isn't something that we've been doing a lot in class. So it was kind of our first attempt at writing sentences, and she's actually doing pretty well. So if you see this one right here, I like my house, she spelled everything perfectly. And we haven't even talked about the word house in class. Her sentence structure is good. She's got some issues when she doesn't know words to put in her sentences, but as far as understanding of sentence structure, it's very sound. The other thing is we've been working a lot with main idea and details, and we tried sentences with this one, but it might have been a little too complex. So her sentences when I worked with her right here were pretty good. But as far as these go, it was more running out of time and getting frustrated. So again, working on confidence and reading at home is really going to help with that. Other than that, she's a joy to have in class. She's super sweet. Like I said, she's making a lot of friends, and she's very helpful. Yeah, that's Claire, and if you have any questions, just let me know. But she's doing very well, and she's a joy to have.